Hey everyone, today I have the craziest Midjourney trick you're gonna see at least this week. It's amazing, it's kind of stupid, but it actually might just change your life. Okay, well, change your life might be a bit much, but have a use in your actual life is maybe more accurate. Today we're gonna take a look at a Midjourney food trick that I just kind of stumbled into. I'm gonna show you how to do it, what it's really good at, where it kind of falters, speculate a little bit on why it works, and then ultimately how you can literally use it for dinner tonight. I hope you're not hungry because by the end of this, you will be. Let's dive in. So I don't know where you are in your culinary journey, and believe me, we're not gonna turn this into a cooking show or anything, but I ran into this thing a few years ago where I started to get really bored of food, and that was a problem because I love food, but I just kind of got stuck in this rut of like, Monday it's pasta, Taco Tuesday, Wednesday it's chicken thing, and then Friday it's pizza. I'm sure that a lot of you have experienced something like that. So I went out and got me a cookbook. This one I actually really like. This is from Milk Street. They have a YouTube channel as well. Highly recommend checking them out. Really good recipes. But every couple of pages, there is 4 recipes and they have no pictures. And so I have no idea what I'm actually making. But enter Midjourney and the weirdest experiment that I did this week. So we all know that you can just prompt a food and Midjourney will deliver you something delicious like a hamburger or grilled chicken or queso dip. But I got to thinking, does Midjourney have an inner chef? Like if I just gave it a bunch of ingredients, could it make something? And as it turns out, it can. So I started with the recipe from the website Taste of Home for a loaded Mexican pizza, which I don't feel is offensive to either the Mexican or Italian heritages. I think it's a delicious fusion of 2 of my favorite foods. The ingredients here call for a can of black beans, a red onion, a yellow pepper, some chili powder. I mean, you can read it. So basically all I did was I just took this whole thing and copied it and pasted it in as a prompt and ran it, and we got this, which is kind of insane. Just based strictly off of the ingredients, Midjourney made us a Mexican pizza. I'll say the first one's probably my favorite. The second one looks like it still has to go into the oven. Not a huge fan of the third one, but I mean, still, how crazy is that? Let's try it out with another one. The next one that I tried out was fried rice from food.com. Links to all of these recipes will be below if you would like them as well. Once again, taking just the ingredients, actually with the measurements as well, and running them as a prompt, and we get fried rice. I mean, kind of. The second one actually looks the most accurate to me, and even then it's probably more in the American restaurant style of something like a P.F. Chang's or a Cheesecake Factory, but still, yeah, I don't think it would necessarily pass the Uncle Roger test. But I don't know. Still, we gave it a bunch of ingredients. It made fried rice. I also gave it the ingredients for my beloved Philadelphia cheesesteak, which is an okay recipe, but at least they got provolone cheese in there. That's the correct way to eat a cheesesteak, by the way, is with provolone cheese, not Cheese Whiz. And I will fight you on Broad Street over that. So it came out pretty good. It does have the problem that a lot of homemade cheesesteaks have, which is that the meat is sliced too thick. But more or less, like the roll in that second image is actually pretty accurate, although that one actually has too much stuff in it, like the green peppers and the mushrooms. I'm not a big fan of all of that stuff. It was in the recipe though, so I guess it's fine that it's in the actual image. But yeah, I don't know, I'm getting hungry now. So it doesn't always come out completely accurate. Like I gave it the ingredients for beef and broccoli and it outputted this, which is accurate. I mean, it is beef and broccoli. It just looks way fancier than anything you would get at a Chinese restaurant. And there are limits. I got greedy at one point and was trying to do a gyro and gave it the ingredients for both the tzatziki sauce and the gyro itself. In the initial prompt, it just gave me the sauce, but fairly accurately so. And then I separated the gyro part of it and got this, which is okay. I'm not a huge fan of that meat, but then again, the actual recipe called for just ground meat, not the lamb. And actually, to be honest, that pita is pretty sad. It actually kind of looks like a gyro quesadilla, which actually sounds like a very good idea. So another problem that I would sometimes run into is looking out for our vegetarian viewers. I was trying to make a vegetarian Thai green curry, but the problem is that when I ran the prompt, it would just give me the ingredients. I mean, granted, I could probably cheat and put green curry at the front of the prompt and it would add everything together, but still, I was just trying to do it just straight off the ingredients to see what we could get. So while it doesn't always work, it is always kind of fun to try. And I do have a pretty cool trick for you coming up in just a minute, but first, let's have some drinks. I wondered how Midjourney would do as a bartender, so I ordered up a dark and stormy, and yeah, that looks pretty much like a dark and stormy. Then, and because I'm not driving, I ordered an old fashioned, which is actually my drink of choice. Yeah, it came out pretty great. Then I figured we'd close it out with James Bond's Vesper. You know, the martini that he always orders, the shaken not stirred? What he's actually ordering is 3 ounces of gin, an ounce of vodka, and a half an ounce of Lillet Blanc with a twist of lemon. Yeah, man, James Bond's been drunk since 1960. All in all, I think it came out pretty accurate. It did add that rosemary garnish in there, which I'm not sure why it did in images 3 and 4, but whatever, I'll take it. For dessert, I had Midjourney bake us a pie, namely an apple pie. So the prompt here was dough for double crust pie, third a cup of sugar, third a cup of brown sugar, on and on it goes. So what I'm speculating is happening here is that within the prompt, the Midjourney bot is picking up on double crust pie, and then later in the prompt with thinly sliced peeled tart apples. And those are the 2 weighted keywords that it's paying the most attention to. So it sees pie and it sees apples, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna mostly ignore the turbinado sugar and the lemon juice, and I'm just gonna put together an apple pie. It's an interesting test on that coming up in just a second. So I'll admit to being one of those people that loves the Great British Bake Off. I find it charming and calming and just, yeah, it's just a really good time. Series 9 had a contestant named Raul that everyone loved. So I decided to grab his edible rock garden chocolate cake recipe and run that in Midjourney and see what we got. So it did not quite work out. I don't think that there was enough for Midjourney to get a hold of between the recipe for the sponge and the recipe for the Italian buttercream. So it just kind of did its best with making a chocolate-ish cake. So I did decide to cheat a little bit here and put the front end of the description from the recipe, which was this moist chocolate cake is surrounded by crunchy chocolate soil and directed with a piped garden, and then ran the rest of the ingredients, and we ended up with this, which is much closer to Raul's design. Still not 100% there, but close. So now that we know that there is a pretty decent chef within Midjourney, how can we use that to our advantage? You ever run into that thing where you have 7 or 8 ingredients in the house and you have no idea what to make with it? Just take the ingredients and pop them into Midjourney and see what it delivers. So legitimately in my fridge right now, I have a pound of ground turkey, some scallions, eggs, and some sweet potatoes. So I just plugged them into Midjourney and was like, what are you gonna make with this? And this is what came out, which depending on your taste may look good or terrible. I've been back in the gym again lately, so this is the kind of stuff that I'm supposed to be eating. I would probably go with number 1. I would say number 4, that egg that's on there looks pretty sad. Legitimately, this might be something that I'm having for lunch tomorrow. Moving on with the experiment, I tried some really random items like a flat iron steak, ramen broth, some rotini, some kale, and an orange, and got this, which I'm not sure how it would taste, but it looks good. I'm probably number 3 for me. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I don't know, rotini and ramen. So if you try this out, let me know in the comments how it works out for you. And I guess while we're here, if you have any favorite recipes, please leave them below. I'm always excited to try new food and try out new things in the kitchen as well. Thanks so much for watching. My name's Tim.